All I can think about is it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. I don't know why that one just hit me, but that's the way I feel. It's been way too long. I don't even know if this stream is going to hold up. Coach will hold it down in case it doesn't. But man, there is so much to talk about. I feel like I've just been missing MIA for weeks, and I have been, to be real with you, but it's been good for my soul. Very happy to be around family. I promise if we can get through this show, I got a banger one for you with Coach. We're going to get to it all next. All right. Welcome back to Last Second Sports. We are giving you our take down to the last second. And I got Coach in the building. What's up, Coach?
What's good, man? And I just wanted to put it on there. And if at first you don't succeed.
That was us backstage. That was literally us backstage.
Dust yourself off and try again.
Golly, man.
All day. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've been great, man. I've been really good. I did get to talk to you a little bit. You know, we've talked here and there, and I called into your show. I had a free minute there. But as far as like streaming and doing this whole thing, it's been way too long. I was going to wait a whole nother week just because the internet where I'm at is still not very good. But we'll see. We'll see if we can make it work. That being said, there's just so much to talk about. And the first thing on the docket is IU continues to stir the pot, man. I don't know if you saw this. I'm sure you saw it, dude. You're connected. I'm not connected, and I saw it, so I know you saw it.
I saw it.
Ayuk with the Commanders film watching, allegedly. I mean, it could have just been a screenshot for all we know, but it did look like he had Commanders practice film. What's up with this, dude? How are you feeling about this one?
I don't like it. It's petty, but it's also showing our age. This is what's going on for today's day and age of players, you know, thumbing their nose at the organization or quote unquote poking the bear. You know, when the grass is green, play ball. You know, at this stage of the game, I'm not going to act like I'm surprised anymore by, you know, the overtures from BA's camp or BA himself. This is just more of the same, in my opinion. You know, doesn't really move me because it's like, I've said this before and I'll say it again. And one of the things that's dope about showing our age is that we understand and know how to respect time. And the reason why is because when you get older, you start understanding that, you know, you can do things that are, you know, emotional or reactionary. But the truth of the matter is that it's best for you to understand the timeline of things before you start investing in emotions. And what BA is doing is investing in hollow emotions, because the truth is that the Niners don't have to acquiesce to him. They don't have to pay him the money that he wants. And quite frankly, they don't have to trade him to the Commanders. As if the Commanders are going, like, this is wild to me, Jesse, that for some reason we still believe that, you know, it's just, if all right, let's just say if it doesn't happen, that is just a foregone conclusion that he's going to Washington, he'll be here, and that's just what it is. I doubt it, man. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, okay. First of all, the 49ers would have to play ball and be willing to trade a player in a fifth-year option, right, that they've decided to pick up. But let's go down that road. If they said, all right, BA, we're going to trade you, he does hold some weight there, because all he has to simply say is, I'm not signing an agreement with anybody else, right? But it has to get to that point. And there's so much that has to happen for it to even get to that point before Brandon has any leverage. So you're right. I mean, it's just not going to happen unless the 49ers are really that tired of him and are just willing to get rid of him. And I just don't see it getting there. You know, Brandon Ayuk has been working out in the team facility. It's been reported for the last 2 weeks. He's been there all offseason, for a majority of the offseason. That's why I've been so confident that a deal is going to get done. Now, obviously, a deal hasn't gotten done yet, but I want to throw something by you, Coach. I went and
Okay.
I looked up Debo Samuel's deal and when he signed it. Do you know the date that he signed his deal?
The 31st of July.
31st of July. Are
I,
we at the
I
31st of July yet?
no, but I cheated. I got it from you on Twitter.
It's all right. It's all right. But either way, that's fine. That's fine. But we're not at the 31st of July, Coach. We're not there, right? We
Right.
still have 20 plus days until we're there. We're good. Like it's not. We're not at a point of no return yet. But I do have a question for you.
Okay.
What is the point? Take your analyst hat off and put your fan hat on.
Okay.
As a 49er fan who probably agrees with me on this statement that this is the last best year they have, unless they, until they kind of tear it down a little bit and retool.
Right.
What is the date or the deadline that Ayuk is not there and not participating that is like, all right, now I'm officially worried? Because I'm not officially worried yet.
Right. Week
So
one.
what is that for you? Week one.
Week one. If we go into the season without a deal ain't getting done. That's my belief. They got to get, because now we're going to start morphing into what we got. This conversation is only being, I don't know, massaged, or it's got all of this, juice on it, is because we have time to talk about it. We're really not into football yet, right? We're really not into football. So we don't have other news, and quite frankly, we don't have other responsibilities to be worried about right now. But once the season starts creeping in, man, not even the season, Jesse, once camp starts creeping in, Jess, it's going to be about who's in the building and who's not. It's going to be about who's playing and who's not. It's going to be about who's on the ship ready to go get this last ride, in a sense, and who's still complaining about their money. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, fans, we're finicky. When the ball gets rolled out, nobody has time for somebody complaining about their deal, especially if we won or lost the game. Nobody has time. We're either too happy talking about what we did and what happened on the field, or we're way too pissed off talking about what we didn't do. But nobody cares about the guy that is standing firm because he doesn't want his 14 million. He wants his 30 million. Like, no. It's like, no, dude, it's not happening. And once the season starts, then it's going to be in the Niners' best interest to see how the team is moving. Now, BA's kind of like going off. Then it's kind of like the self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because it's like, all right, BA, you want out of here? Well, play your ass off, because you don't want to look like a malcontent. You just let the entire NFL world know that what you think you deserve, you dummy. You shouldn't have did it, but you did. All right. So now you got to go out there and prove it. And how are you going to prove it? Blocking your ass off for 3/4 a game, because that's what you're going to be doing while Ricky Pearsall is looking like a god, eating up all of your routes. You're going to be running off people, and Ricky Pearsall is going to be running those deep overs, looking crazy, right? And you are going to be fodder, and you're going to be frustrated. And then the Niners, they're going to wait for the right period in the season, and there's going to be a team, because there's always a team that's going to be hot, ready for a player, and the Niners are going to sell you for parts. And it's not going to be the Commanders. It's going to be for something that we really need at the moment, because we may get an injury. Or it's going to be something where we may get that corner that we've been looking for all year, because we know that we got to negotiate with Mooney and Demo coming up. It's like he's not understanding, like, there's so many outs for the Niners compared to him. BA's got outs. He's got cards, but he's got nowhere near the deck that the Niners have.
He's playing with a 2-7 offsuit, and they got pocket rockets, right?
Come on, dude. Right? And you know what's crazy? He's checking. Well, he's not even checking. What he's doing is he's like bluff betting, coming in with like half the stack, not even respecting his sevens. And what are the Niners doing? They're fucking going crazy on the ante. It's like, oh yeah, oh well, we're raising for 1,000. Oh no, oh the river, oh the turn, oh yeah, we're raising for 3,000, 5,000. Like, we're letting you know what we're holding the entire time, the entire way, bro. We know what we have. When you got pocket rockets, go aggressive, take the pot. So We'll see, man. We'll see.
I got it. I was just wondering, like, from a fan perspective, where your head's at. I think week 1 is the right answer, by the way, because that's about when I would be like, okay, like I don't know if this is gonna go down. I really don't know if he's gonna get a deal done. All right, I'm done talking about it, which is crazy because I haven't really been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. You've been talking about it a ton. I know you've got to be done talking about the Ayuk situation.
We're talked out.
Yeah, we talked out, right? I mean, he can continue to make a little bit of noise here and there, and it's going to be newsworthy. But there's only so much that you can say on the topic. So I do want to ask you this, though, and this is the title of the show. Which 49ers have the most pressure to perform this year? And I've got a list of 3. Do you want me to give you the list and then you tell me if you agree, disagree, and add to it? Do you want to go back and forth? Do you have a list? Like, how do you want to tackle this one?
We can go back and forth. I've got a couple, but we can go back and forth.
Okay. Well, I'm a good host, so I will let you give the first one in fear that I may take that from you, and then I'll take the second one and so forth.
Hey, you know what? A gentleman and a scholar, all the way from Portland. So, all right, Javon Hargraves, simply put.
Oh.
He's the only guy outside of Nick Bosa that's getting paid premium money on that defensive line. And we quite frankly, we got rid of all of our depth in order to bring him on. And he hasn't played up to expectations, even though we made it to the Super Bowl. And I feel as though that part of what softened the blow of his poor play was the fact that he was able to play with Eric Armstead. He was still able to get spelled by Javon Kinlaw. I don't think those guys are necessarily going to be as effective. The replacements of those guys, I don't think they're going to be as effective in run support, being able to spell him. He's got to like really step up. He's got to be a guy. Like Javon Hargraves has got to be a reason why we win games now. So that's how I feel with Javon Hargraves. Like he's really got to step up this year. Like if we have the defensive line that we're accustomed to this year, it's going to be because he had one of the best years of his career. He needs to step up. He can't just be a package guy or a third down guy. He's got to make it to third down. That's the biggest problem with him. He's got to be more of what we paid for on third down on first and second down, because we just don't see that. And I think what will be emblematic of that is how he comes into camp in shape. So that would be huge. And Tommy, I forgot to read one super chat on the last call-in show. I think it was Tom's show, dude. I'm looking at Tommy and Bacon and Eggs. They are going hard on me about not reading that super chat. I am Tom. I'm sorry, Tommy. I'm sorry. You ain't got to cut me off, dog. You ain't got to cut me off. And you ain't got to egg them on, Bacon and Eggs. I see what you was doing, man. I saw what you was doing. You was hyping them up. He put it in there and everybody let it go. And then here comes Bacon and Eggs like, oh, Tommy, coach is cut off. That's cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Cut it out. Cut it out.
That's what I love about the chat, though. They're always egging somebody on.
I love the chat, bro.
Just always pressing buttons, whether it's each other's buttons, our buttons, whatever. It's fantastic.
Bro, this was all Bacon and Eggs. Like, Tommy put it out there. I'm like, all right, I get that. That's legit. If I didn't read his super chat, I get it. Then, like, Bacon comes off the top rope like, oh, that's crazy. Cut him off. Cut him off. I'm like, dog, why are you sizing him?
Bro, well, in fear of my internet cutting out and me being put on the chopping block, I'm not reading a super chat. I'm going to get to John V's. Yeah. John V, what's up, John, man? How you doing? By the way, John in person looks just like Kyle Shanahan. I'm just going to throw that out there. Anyways, yeah. Jesse and Coach says, what's the word out there about BA posting another team's camp, Washington, on his social media? Could that be fallback on the Niners? I'd be willing to bet it would piss off a few people in the building. No, this is a great point. We didn't tackle it from this angle at all. This is a very good question. So first of all,
you know why? because that's personal, because that's intellectual property of the Washington Commanders, that film.
Yes.
Okay. So that's why I'm glad that John touched on that. This isn't just a video. That's their own DV Sport media. So the fact that BA has that means that he's either gotten somebody to rip that media outside of the cloud of what the Commanders do, or BA has somebody's credentials to be able to get on his device to be able to watch that. Either way, that is huge conflict of interest of a contracted employee with an organization. I hate to get like legalese on you or whatever, but like that's foul. It's like the equivalent of you like having like the company email of a contending company organization, and like, oh yeah, I go in their wiki all the time. I'm always in the competitor SharePoint. Like what? So that was very weird.
It definitely is. And listen, I don't know what the rules are against it. I'm sure that's
They're
like
young and they don't have jobs. They've never had jobs, and they don't look. They don't know how stupid they look.
Well, let me take this from two angles. One, it's certainly conduct detrimental to a team. When we go to camp, you'll see it, Coach. When we go to camp, we can't even film the practice. We can't film the practice because they don't want anything out there. So they're not happy about that. But I guess to play devil's advocate, we don't know if he had full film or if it was a screenshot. We assume it's full film, and it definitely is a screenshot of a film at the very least. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's definitely weird. And I wouldn't be happy if I was running the 49ers and I saw BA giving out our film to people or screenshots or what have you. So I don't know. It's weird to say the least.
Yeah.
Brother Bob says, chat, were they late? You don't even have to ask the chat. Yeah, we were late. Roger says, what's up, Jesse? What's up, Coach? Y'all don't got to worry if BA walks. Y'all drafted the next Puka Nacua and Ricky Pearsall. All jokes. Just happy to see y'all live together again. Me too. Thank you, Roger. Rams fan. So he's definitely joking about the Puka Nacua thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. The Puka Nacua thing is floated around out there about him. Puka Nacua wouldn't have been Puka Nacua with the 49ers his rookie year, right? Like there's multiple things that play into this. Puka Nacua got drafted to a team that was more pass first than the 49ers, and their number one receiver was out. That was a big reason why Puka Nacua was able to be Puka Nacua. It's not just the talent level. There's situational things. Ricky Pearsall, unfortunately for him, I don't know how people compare the situation at all and say that he's the next Puka, because I have heard that. He isn't allowed to be that in this offense, especially if BA's here and these guys are healthy. It's just not going to happen.
No way.
Our number one receiver wasn't Puka Nacua last year. That was BA, because he only got 70-something catches. It's just the way it works.
Yeah, if BA ain't getting, like, the way our passing tree works is BA, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, kind of contending right there. And then everything else is a toss-up. Jawan Jennings, and then, give the scraps to everybody else. But that's pretty much who gets the ball. It's BA, then Christian McCaffrey, then George.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen for a rookie wide receiver. Anyways, all right. You said Javon Hargrave, or as the chat likes to call it, or call him, Jerome Hargrove. Shout out to Shannon Sharp for screwing his name up and giving us that forever. So Jerome Hargrove is under pressure this year, according to you. I'll give you one. I think this might surprise a little bit, but hear me out on it. First of all, let's see if I'm crazy when I say it.
Okay.
Brock Purdy.
How?
Okay. So not pressure necessarily from the team aspect, right?
Okay.
But you're a player who is coming off of a phenomenal, not just a rookie stint, but your second year stint was incredible, right? You've got the pressure to perform from that standpoint and show that you truly are a franchise caliber quarterback. Not only because the team is trying to win a Super Bowl, not only because the league now knows what to expect from you, knows that you're a good player and has to look out for you on a regular basis. But also, is he not trying to get paid big time money after this season as well? Isn't there some pressure there? Like, what if Brock Purdy got hurt week 8 and wasn't able to finish the season? Do you think he would get paid big time money?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. It's a lot.
Based off what?
He's getting paid.
If he got hurt week 8 and wasn't able to finish the season, you think he would get paid big time money?
What did he do in the first 8 games? I'm living in Niners land, bro. I'm rocking with the faithful right now. You got to understand who this guy is to us. Like how the fan base sees him. If Brock had the same season, let me put it like this. Let's ask this. Let's say he doesn't get hurt. Brock has the same exact season that he had last year. Is Brock getting paid?
For sure. Yes, of course.
All right.
Yes.
So if Brock had the same half of a year, do you think that people would be saying, hey man, let's see the whole year. We got to wait. We got to see it. Or do you not think the entire fans would do the numbers and say, by week 8, he was here last year. By week 8, he was here this year. Pay him.
Mm-hmm.
So it would depend on what he does in those first 8 weeks. If he was struggling through and got hurt, yeah, that's context. I think people would say there would be a small contingency of people saying, nah, I don't know about that. But if Brock was Brock for 8 weeks and got hurt, I don't think anybody would be saying he doesn't deserve to get paid.
I don't disagree with you from a fan standpoint.
Or let me rephrase that. Paid big money, like you said.
I don't disagree from a fan standpoint, but the fans aren't writing the check for Brock Purdy. The fans aren't the one that are tying their franchise to him. If I'm a franchise, any smart franchise, and I think we have to assume, we can talk about the 49ers and the things that we disagree with. The 49ers have been a winning organization pretty damn good since Shanahan and John Lynch have been here. Okay. They've made some very harsh and tough decisions. We may not agree with everything, but they're smart. They're a smart franchise.
Building them up to fit your narrative right now.
You're telling me they are, but they are. Hold on. You don't get to go to the playoffs and go to the NFC Championship 4 times and not be a good franchise, a smart franchise.
Yeah, like, this is off the scale, though. The only reason why you're bigging up the Niners right now is because you want to embellish your point, dog. Like, stop leading the witness, bro.
Hold on.
All right.
But so that tells me that if you're looking at a player that got hurt after 8 starts his rookie year, played very well, got to a Super Bowl his second year, and then gets hurt again in year 3, you're going to just back up the Brinks truck to that player, knowing you have a full another year that you can be like, hold on, let's just make sure. Because he is under contract. What if he's injury prone? What if he got hurt again the next year? Then what? Like a Tua, we're talking about like a Tua situation where he's played really well, but he gets hurt. You think they would just pay that guy? I don't.
I mean,
I don't believe that.
All right. Well, listen, the perspective in which you want to start this debate is, bespoke at best. I mean, right now you got to squint your left eye and tilt your head to kind of get where you're coming from. I see all of the moving parts, but for me, it's quite simple. Brock Purdy did get hurt last year. I mean, he did get hurt his rookie year, which you say, but you're not. That's the leaves and the branches of the situation. Let's get to the root. The root is that Brock himself was coming in for injured players. That's why he was there in the first place. Brock came in off the bench as quarterback 3, as a rookie, Mr. Irrelevant, and was lights out for what you could ask for the first 8 weeks of his career. And he went to the NFC Championship game. Then let's bring up the injury. You want to bring up the injuries and just skip to the second hypothetical injury, but you're not talking about the original injury and how he came back off of it. Yes, he did get hurt earlier in his career, but he backed it up with a Super Bowl appearance and leading his team. All right. Albeit he had 3 bad weeks where he threw 5 picks in the whole 9. We understand that. But you got to look at the consistency. You got to look at the consistency versus all of the blunders or, the vulnerabilities that have happened throughout his career. Like, the consistency far outweighs the injuries that he's had. And if you really want to look at one of the biggest injuries, you would almost say that some of Brock's best feats of consistency is off that injury. That's so it's kind of like, nah, bro, but he's getting paid, bro. He's getting paid. If Brock was to play this year and get hurt, all right, and week 8, and he was still Brock the first 8 weeks, the Niners are paying his ass. They're not going to let Brock go into the last year of his deal where they're going to have to mess around and pay him even more. And then on top of it, bro, you're not even looking at the fact that Brock himself, you're saying like the Niners are a shrewd organization. Yes. One of the cheapest things that they could pay right now is Brock. Get Brock paid and get rid of all of these overpriced vestiges on the team so we can have the fan base and have the money and have the eyes. And Brock is what you would call decent enough to make you dangerous with a Kyle Shanahan offense at worst. And he's a franchise quarterback at best, right? And then I'll close with this. All right. The times make the man, not the other way around. Brock cannot help that he is the player that he is in this day and age in the NFL. So we can look at all of the other players that did it better than him. We can look at all of the other avatars that we can say that are player comparable to Brock. But the facts is that in 2024, Brock has found a niche for himself as a starting quarterback in the NFL. And it's only 32 of them. And he's doing it on one of the best platforms that the NFL can offer. He's getting paid, bro. He's already doing brand deals, bro. He's behind corn trucks and all types of shit, bro. He's getting paid, bro. Like, give it up, man.
I don't disagree. Listen, it's not nothing to give up. I'm not saying that the Niners are going to do what they're going to do, right? And I'll talk about it and agree with it or disagree with it whenever that happens. My point is that if he were to get injured or he weren't to have the season that we all expect he's going to have a good season, right? Like you're trying to paint the picture like I'm expecting a bad season from Brock. That's not at all it. I think he's going to have a really good year. In fact, right here, his arm should be stronger by a considerable margin. He was coming off of an injury last year. For all intents and purposes, this season should be every bit as good, if not better. Maybe not statistically, but we all watch film. We know what looks better. I don't care what the stats say. He should look better this year than last year, all around, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is, the question is who has pressure to perform? If Brock doesn't perform to that level, or he does get injured in this final year when this team's trying to make a run, Jimmy Garoppolo, again, not comparing the player, but the only reason they truly moved on from Jimmy wasn't because Jimmy was just ass week in and week out. It's because he couldn't stay healthy. So now they're just going to open up the checkbook and be like, you're the highest paid quarterback in the league. Even though 2 out of 3 seasons, not even full seasons, you couldn't stay healthy. I don't believe that they would do that. There's no way they would do that. They may pay him and try to get him on a bargain deal, right? 45 million, something like that, which is still him getting paid a lot of money relative to common folk. But as far as what he could actually be worth if he were to finish the season and have a great season, that's not even close to the money that's available to him.
All right, I get that. That makes sense. But for me, let's just stick with the money. I feel like the reason why John and Kyle got their 6-year extensions was because of the buy-in with Brock. I think that's why they got their deals. I think that they made syntax with Brock is about to come up on a deal. You're going to be here with him. He's your guy. You guys are locked in. You finally have your man. If you think about it, the bar for Brock has really never been that high, right? We only shot for the stars once and fucking fell on our faces with Trey Lance. But to be honest, it's really been Jimmy Garoppolo, CJ Beathard, and Nick Mullins. That's not necessarily a pantheon of like gunslingers, right? So for them to be able to lock in on what they feel as though is not only adequate, but a step above, and he's young, and he shows tools that are intrinsic to the game that you just can't teach, like his ability to process and to keep himself upright and to be able to be strong at points of attack. Like, I'm gonna tell you, man, Brock is going to get paid, and not even more so of what he means for the Niners, but what he means to the league. You see all of these weak ass quarterbacks getting drafted now, everybody trying to find their next Brock Purdy, bro. I'm telling you, bro, like that shit plays, Jesse. It plays, bro. Like it plays. So the Niners are not going to give up the mold. They're not. They'd be idiots not to pay the mold, right? On top of the fact that even if they quibble with him with money, as far as quarterbacks is concerned, because we know this is a quarterbacks league, the question will be asked if the Niners don't get that done is, so wait a minute, Kyle can't get it done with this guy? Like, what's the deal? Why can't they get this deal done? All right. It's just, I don't think that it's very like, and it's just like, it's not like
you're coming at it. Hold on. You're coming at it from an angle that I think Edgardo is as well. Edgardo's saying, well, who do you pivot to? You're not saying that per se, but you're saying, listen, you've got to get it done. Like this is, Kyle can't burn through another quarterback, right? Like you can't pivot to another one. What I'm saying though is that you don't have to pivot to anybody. He's still under contract. No matter what, you've got him for a minimum right now, minimum 4 seasons if you want. Bare minimum, up to as many seasons as you want to sign him for if he signs a deal. All I'm saying is if he gets hurt, and that's now 2 out of 3 years, he's done so, and that is the reason, or if he didn't play up to par, there is nothing wrong with an organization saying, whoa, we really like him. We've seen more good than bad, but we've seen enough to say we can't just write him a blank check. Brock, we'll pay you fair market value, which is top 10 quarterback money. But we're not going to pay you top 5 quarterback money. We haven't seen enough yet, or we've seen enough to the contrary to where they may just step back a year and, hey, let's revisit the year after if Brock's not open to that. There is that scenario. That does exist. I guarantee it exists. Not if he plays a full season, he's going to play good, he's going to get paid. But if he were to get hurt, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a scenario where they want to see another season, or Brock isn't willing to take the less money that they would offer.
They're going to take care of Brock. Quarterback money and quarterback negotiations are very different. And I think that the Niners and Brock are in lockstep. This is deeper than rap, bro. Like, I don't think that this is a real like player organization situation. I think that they're linked in together. I think the Niners are invested in Brock's success because they feel as though that he's ready made from a development standpoint. That's something that they cannot do. And I believe that the Niners are going to play ball when it comes time to paying Brock. I do, because they played ball when it came time to paying Jimmy. And Jimmy did far less than what Brock did. And they made Jimmy the highest paid quarterback in the league. I'm just saying, man, like they're going to pay him. And they're going to pay him $60 million a year. And to help you out, it's going to be the equivalent of a real big, shiny pickup truck. It's going to look big, chrome, dually back. It's going to have a Cummins. It's going to take 6 gallons. It's going to take 6 miles to the gallon. It's going to be huge, right? But it's also going to be cheap. There's going to be a way to get out of it. It's going to have tons of outs. It's going to be gaudy, but not real worth, right? It's not going to be a Deshaun Watson deal. It's going to be a Patrick Mahomes deal. And we know that the Patrick Mahomes deal is huge. It's a huge team-friendly deal. And it happened. I think we lost Jesse. So, look, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a gutted ice cream truck, says John V. Look, man, I'm telling you, man, like the way that I see it is the deal is going to be a lot of money. And I just want to ask you guys right now, I mean, do you think they should do it? Should they do it? You know what I'm saying? Oh, Kenny, you saw that on YouTube. And I kept it up there because I saw you comment me back on that. like I'm in these YouTube streets too, Kenny. You think I'm not in there, dog? I wish I could click on this, but this is not my stream. I think Jess just tapped out just now. Tessie just tapped out just now. He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back in the stream. But like from where I see it is, it's about time for Brock. It's about time for us to get back into, us traditionally putting the team together. We had a really good time for the last 3 to 4 years of having a ridiculously gaudy team with tons of high-priced skilled players. But traditionally, once the quarterback gets paid, it's time for us to really get back into what I feel like built our team, which is finding those diamonds in the rough and finding those gems that we develop, right? George Kittle, fifth round draft pick, right? Diamond in the rough. Dre Greenlaw, diamond in the rough. Fred Warner, diamond in the rough. I mean, and I feel like sometimes when you have to develop somebody because you understand how your money is split up, it makes you a better organization. It makes you more resourceful, and it kind of gets you back to basics. And I really want that for us, because I feel like it's going to keep us competitive, and at the same time, if you really look at it, it's going to keep us refreshed. I mean, let me ask you guys: would you consider us a top heavy team? Let's get to it. Like, would you consider us a top heavy team? Are the Niners top heavy? And in that, when I say top heavy, I mean, do most of the players that we have on this team sit at the top of our salary cap, or do you feel as though we have good spread out depth amongst the team? How do you feel about that? And Jess is back. What's good, Jess? Yo. Jess is not back. All right. Not Again says yes, very yes. Jesse has returned. Yes. John V is top heavy. Yes. Everything but the O-line. Yeah. If you look at what we have right now. Oh, Jess, you back? Jess, you're moving. Just to let you know.
I don't.
I hear you.
Am I on? Am I good?
Okay. You're on. Yes, you're on.
All right. I think to your point, is it a top heavy team? ESPN just fired up an article that I tweeted about earlier that said the 49ers ranked 23rd in the NFL in talent on their roster, ages 25 and younger.
Damn. We're old.
The future doesn't look that well, right? And a lot of that does stem from the Trey Lance deal. It just does.
Yeah.
They basically miss out on 2 full years of like premium draft picks. 3 full years, really.
Yeah. 100%.
So,
I mean, and
we're paying for it. I think it's definitely top heavy. I don't know everything you were talking about, obviously.
No. Yeah. We were just talking about basically how we're going to be able to pay Brock. And I said that one of the points that I was saying with paying Brock is we're traditionally going to get back to how teams are customarily ran, with the quarterback making the lion's share of the money, and you basically having to filling your team with depth. And I said that it would be good for us to be able to get back to the draft and force ourselves to get more development around Brock, because you just can't go get $30 million to $20 million a year players anymore. That's dead. Please come back. Please come back. Jesse, come back. Jesse.
I'm trying to come back.
All right. So
golly. Oh my gosh.
Nah, we're good, bro.
I am. Are you? You got me?
Yeah. I can hear you. Come on.
All right. Give me another player that's under pressure. Because we disagree on Brock. And I don't have the internet to like hold up on my argument right now. and
Mhm.
actually like feel like I can win this argument. So just go to the next player.
All right. I would say that my next player that has to step up this year is Drake Jackson. I think that it's long overdue.
Ooh.
And hold on, let me read Brother Bob's super first, since he wants to interject the show with his comments. So Kyle Levy stands on dumb. Jesse's trying to get a tan like me and Coach. I see you. Are you happy, Bob? Can we get back to the show? Jesus.
God. That super chat got like 10 minutes of airplay for no reason because I couldn't connect.
Right. Oh, $1.99 ass super chat up there for 30 minutes. They're gonna sit up here and try to entertain. Can you at least read my super chat? You diva. Anyway, like I was saying, like I think that Drake Jackson's got to step up this year. It's now or never for him. I mean, we drafted him high. He essentially was our first round pick 2 years ago. And from my opinion, it's like, where's the beef? Like, when are you going to show up and give us some consistency? I just don't understand right now where he's at. And one thing that will be a barometer of all of this is, number one, him getting on the field and actually seeing him play. That's one. But two, Coach Kasarik, man. Coach Kasarik is very blunt and honest about the development of his guys, because I feel as though that he's a man
and respected around the league. If Drake Jackson doesn't pan out with him, then what? Who's going to make him work?
Dog, that's the same reason why everybody's kind of looking at the Saints for taking Chase Young. It's kind of like, all right, that's a cool flex. But like for me, I don't know where else you go when you get like one of the best guys to do it and they took a chance on you and it's like it didn't work out. It's like, man, where are you going to go play? I almost kind of feel like that the same way for offensive linemen here. It's like you are a certain curated athlete that gets picked up for a specific offense. And it's like, if it doesn't cut here, like you got like maybe 4 or 5 places that'll take you. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you another player that's under pressure.
Who?
Talanoa Hufanga.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, think about it. Another player who's in a contract year, coming off of a major injury, and they drafted his replacement, essentially drafted his potential replacement in Malik Mustafa.
He kind of looks better than
let's not gloss over the fact that all offseason before the draft, they did spend that trying to bring in other safeties. They even offered a contract to a safety that is now over in Seattle. We know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's definitely under pressure because if not, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and John Lynch said that Talanoa's job wasn't promised to him once he came back. He had to compete for his job. I felt like that was like a real Bush League thing to put out there, but he did say that.
They do that stuff from time to time. They did that with the tight end too. Remember they drafted last year, Latu?
Yeah, they did it to him too. It's like, nothing's safe. It's like, why are you talking to him through the media? It's almost kind of like if I got a problem with you and like Grant's in the room, I'm like, I don't know what Jesse's problem is, but if he doesn't get his act together, it's like, I'm right here. Like, passive aggressive.
Except for y'all ain't my boss, right? Like Grant's not our boss, so it's like that would be a peer saying that, which would be still shady as hell. But your boss is literally saying that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, dude, that's not a carrot. That's not like and you know how that shit gets spun in like toxic NFL, like faux competitive areas, pseudo competitive areas. It's like, oh yeah, John's really lighting the fire under Talanoa. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of letting him know. It's just like, no, that's toxic. You could have told me that off air. Why do I have to find out about this? Like on the air? Like, it's kind of weird.
then the 49ers do things like they'll pretend like it didn't happen. Like the whole doghouse thing with BA is like, it was never in a doghouse. BA is like, no, I was definitely in a doghouse here too. Like, what are we talking about?
You know what? If you look at like, if this was like an edit for like The Office, it'd be like walking up on Kyle as Michael Scott coming out of his office, and he's just like, "Yeah, Michael. So why did you put Brandon in the doghouse?" He's like, "Well, I never doghouse. What are you talking about? Doghouse? Definitely not dog." And then they cut right to BA in the office in the interview room with the crew, and he's like, "I definitely was in the doghouse." Like, I definitely was in a doghouse. It's like, yeah, what are you talking about? They're like, everybody knows that there was a doghouse.
I agree. I actually agree with this too, Notorious Gav. I had 3 players. BA was my third. I just didn't want to talk about him before the other 2 because it's like I feel like everything's been dominated by BA, but he's definitely under pressure, especially if they don't pay him. He's under pressure, more pressure, because he still get that deal. So I agree with this comment, Coach.
Yeah, definitely.
Listen, we could, you and I, we could do this for hours. I would love to. I just can't trust my internet right now. I can just see it jumping and jumping and jumping. So I'm going to say this. It was fun to get back, my toe in the water. I'll be fully back next Monday. We'll be on Coach's channel next Monday, and then it's a full week ahead. I'll be back at home in the Nettles. Maybe I can drop a few videos between now and then, but for now, I think this is where we got to call it. Coach, as always, thank you so much for holding it down. Everybody else, I'll see you live next week. Peace.